What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we got the E90 behind me, and I'm very happy to say that because I feel like this car has been neglected on the channel because it hasn't made that many appearances. The last one I remember, I think, is the MHD tune video. Also, I don't know what order this is going to come out in, so to me, it hasn't been on the channel for a while, but I've been really full sending the E39 series, so hopefully everyone's enjoying that so far. If you haven't watched it or you haven't heard about it, I'll put a link to the playlist up here or there. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of the video. Finally tackling the front and rear turbo vacuum lines. My car is in major limp mode right now, and that is because it's not making any boost and the turbos aren't spooling. So from the research that I've done, it should be the front and rear turbo vacuum lines because it's related to a wastegate issue. I'm hoping it's not my turbos yet, so fingers crossed, but we'll get to the nitty gritty of everything once I actually start taking apart the engine bay. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna set up everything over there, and then I'll catch you guys when I do that. Okay, before we get started, I realized nobody has made a how-to or like a very in-depth how-to video. There is one video that I've watched. It's this Malaysian guy. He does it from start to finish. I won't be doing that. I'm just going to like tell you exactly what you need to remove in case anyone ever wants to watch this as a how-to video. But essentially, first thing, remove the engine cover, remove your cowl tray if you still have the OEM one. Remove the, so I have Precision Raceworks ignition coils, but for stock N54s, you'll have the OEM ignition coil wiring harness bracket that's like screwed onto the valve cover. Remove that, and then after that, remove the coolant expansion tank. All you have to do is unbolt the 210 mils, disconnect the electrical connector at the bottom of the expansion tank, put it off to the side, and remove the metal tray holding the boost solenoids intact to the block, I think. And once you do that, you should be able to finagle your way into the front turbo vacuum line. But that's just what I have for the fronts. For the rears, it's going to be a lot more time consuming and tedious, but we'll get to that when it happens. Just wanted to state that for anyone watching this as a how-to. I'll just cut to the next clip of me describing what the rear protocol is, a process. And yeah, but other than that, I'm just gonna start it on this, and the next clip you guys should see how to do the rears, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, me successfully doing this whole operation. Alright guys, so I just got finished removing my coil packs, coolant expansion tank, sorry, blinking out, vacuum canisters, and the whole cowl situation. I'm probably going to remove the V-brace as well, just because it gives me more space. I've disconnected all the vacuum lines. As you can see, the only one left, give me a second, I need to mount this properly. Only one left is these two that have a sort of like T connection to the actual boost solenoids. And as you can see, there's tension now that they're not connected to the boost solenoids. And obviously that one goes to the rear turbo. This one goes to the front turbo. So hopefully this is a easy install. Fingers crossed, but I'll just show you guys what happens next. got the front turbo vacuum line installed. It wasn't that hard. It's a lot easier to access than the rears, but I had no leverage to like actually grip because you have to place the vacuum line like on the nipple. And I have a diagram here, the N54. So this is the front one that I just did. And as you can see, there's that nipple sticking out. And you can't see this, by the way, so you're flying blind, but I managed to put it in. And now I just have to do the same for the rears. As you can see here, I already replaced the, well, I already said that, but the front vacuum line is already mounted. The rear vacuum line I have right here. I just have to figure out a way to do this without slicing off my arm. But yeah, fingers crossed, this goes well. I'll also link the video of the Malaysian dude that did the whole process, like from start to finish. Personally, I didn't do exactly what he did because thankfully I have small enough hands and arms where I was able to like maneuver in a way to do it like with my fingers. But I mean, like if you don't have small hands or arms, or if you like want to do it with pliers, you can. I just didn't want to because you lose dexterity doing that, because like you actually have to know where you're putting it in, and since you can't see, it's a lot harder to do that with something that's not attached to your body, if that makes sense. But anyways, gonna put you guys back on time lapse, and fingers crossed this solves the lit mode and the car will be back on tonight. So let's get to it. Okay guys, I got the rear vacuum line on. So some caveats. The front vacuum line, easier visibility, less, what's the word? Less leverage to actually like grip it with one hand, so you gotta use two. Rear vacuum line, less accessibility, but more ability to grip. So, I mean, like, as you guys saw in the time lapse, I was like on top of the engine with my left hand like in it. I could have had more space if I removed the bracket holding the boost solenoids, but I'm lazy, so we're good there. Let me see if I can try to get this on the camera. It's gonna be really hard, but alright, just believe me. I got it in. I'm gonna put everything back together and then start the car. Hopefully everything is all good in the hood. So see y'all then. Alright guys, moment of truth. Hopefully all of those hours of diagnosis worked.
Oh, yo, dude, no, that was way better.
We're back.
Yo, that was way better. Yo, that's how it sounds. That's how it's supposed to sound.
We're so back.
Yo, Izzo, swear that sounds way better.
Yo, we're back.
Swear.
We're actually back.
Saying like what do you call it? No, bro, it like actually sounds way better, bro.
Stopping that roll.
Yeah, that's very healthy, bro.
actually
No, that's actually very healthy, bro. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to sound like, bro. We've been missing that sound for brakes.
Oh my goodness. It was literally a seized wastegate actuator, bro. Like, what?
Yeah. No, that's more like it,
We're
bro.
back.
That is actually tough. You're so up, bro. Chill, bro.
All right, guys. So, as you guys can see, the E90 is back up. Initially, I was extremely convinced that the turbos had failed completely, which, granted, they're on their way out 100%. It's at 130 something K miles. They're definitely due for replacement. However, there was something that has been gnawing at me, which is the rear wastegate actuator not moving when under load. AKA when your foot's on the gas. And tonight I decided, and also it sounded like an exhaust leak, and according to this forum, which I'll probably put on the screen or just link down below, it sounds like an exhaust leak. You have no boost, no power, no acceleration, blah 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 blah. Turns out that's exactly what I had. I've seen it before, but just based off of what happened initially, I did not think that was the case. So I ended up getting under the car using a long 3/8 extension. We took off the rear vacuum line, inserted it into a vacuum pump, pumped it up to like 10 psi, and I jammed the 3/8 extension and then pushed it forward, and it became loose again, so it's no longer seized. Really excited that that fixed the issue, because I was about to fully send 19Ts, turbos and whatnot, and I still am. I'm going to get new turbos because they're on their way out. However, this gives me some time before I actually have to do it, and I can enjoy the car somewhat. Also, this whole little like diagnosis project has given me some life back from my definitely dying turbos. I replaced the boost solenoids, I replaced the coil packs and plugs, I replaced the vacuum lines, so there is no more 30FF, there is no 292, there is no more misfire cylinder 6, there's no more boost low pressure error. I fixed everything, so the car is back up for however long the turbos will last. Until that point though, I won't be sending the turbos. So this little project had its it had its pros and cons. Pros, I diagnosed everything thoroughly, and all the common failure points which I had put aside because I was lazy, I ended up addressing, and turns out the fix was something very simple, which I initially had in the beginning, but as I normally do, I tend to overthink things when my initial diagnosis doesn't come to fruition. So all that aside, I'm glad that the E90 is back up. I will show you guys what I was talking about in the morning when there's more light. I'll actually like zoom in to where like the wastegate actuator rod like moves and whatnot. But regardless, I'm really excited. So for tonight, that's gonna be all. I'll catch you guys in the morning. All right, guys. Anyways, like I said, that's pretty much it for today's video. It's gonna be kind of on the longer side, only because I don't know what I was doing, but at the time of recording it, I guess I was recording it DIY style. But I hope the instructions were well enough to follow. I will try to add images throughout when I'm explaining this process to sort of like visualize this process for you, because I didn't really understand it until I looked at the diagram, and then once everything is removed, at certain angles, you can see where the vacuum line actually is connected to for the rear, and then for the fronts, you kind of just have to trace the line all the way down, and then there's like a nipple. Once you pull it off, you can feel, and then you just reinsert it. Same thing goes for the rear. You pretty much do this blind. I didn't really look at it while doing it, but yeah, I'm grateful that I got some life back out of my dying turbos, but soon come, I'm going to be getting 19Ts, inshallah. Support your boy, subscribe to the channel, help me get these 19Ts. Initially I was gonna send them now because I thought I had blown turbos, but I wanna wait. It would have been an impulsive decision, but I was at that point where I did not want my car to be down. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Stay tuned for what's next on the E90. Don't forget, nothing's impossible. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.